Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And today is a fragrance review. I don't do these all that often on my channel. These days I only do a review of a fragrance when it really gets up my nose, so to speak. And today is one which I'm delighted to say, as soon as I smelled it, I realized that me and this fragrance were going to be good friends, which was particularly heartwarming for me because I know the person who created this fragrance house. And when I say I know him, I've never met him in person, but we've corresponded over a couple of years because he is also a YouTuber. And of course, I talk about Dan Norton, who is half of the Norton and Wilson fragrance brand, a British-made producer of extremely high-quality fragrances at what I would say are a fairly approachable price. Now, as I say, I've interacted with Dan for a while. He's had his YouTube channel a lot longer than mine, going back to 2013. And I believe it was about 2019 that he started off a Kickstarter campaign with the intention of creating his own fragrance. And Gravitas Pour Homme, which sits here on the table, is the child of that endeavor. And yeah, so I interacted with Dan, and the other day he said to me, look, let me send you a few fragrances, give them a go. If you like them, do what you like with them. So the caveat to this is I have not paid for this fragrance. However, I receive no benefit whatsoever to giving a positive or negative review for that fragrance. So as far as I can be independent while the product entered my life for no financial cost, believe me, I'm going to tell you as it is. Now, as I say, it's been around for a couple of years, and now the Norton and Wilson brand has expanded. I think he's got 5 fragrances in the portfolio at the moment, and I believe there may be a few more on the horizon soon. So it's delightful, amazing to see that a YouTuber has gone from just reviewing fragrances to now, being I think he's the creative director of Norton and Wilson, and that the brand is going from strength to strength. But it's only important, and I wouldn't even talk about it to you if I didn't think there was quality in the product. And Gravitas Pour Homme, which I have here on the table, which I'm just going to apply good few squirts, so I can really get the ambience and the feeling for it. And as soon as you smell it, you know straight away. It's an aromatic fougere, aromatic, good, strong, penetrating fragrance. Fougere means fern in French. It is a green, fresh fragrance, but with a creamy richness. And I smell vanilla, certainly oak moss. There's lots of the accords of a fragrance which I personally resonate. I like fresh, strong fragrances. Hence, I'm often drawn to fragrances from the 1990s. Now, whilst I wouldn't say this fragrance smells not of its time, obviously it was created in, when did I say, 2020, I believe it came to market. But it has a definite relationship with, I think, fragrances from the more retro era, which I personally love because I like fragrances with character, and there's definite character with this one. Whilst it's reminiscent of an older era, I think it's highly modernistic as well, equally as wearable today, in fact more so than some of these very lightweight and sweet fragrances which seems to be predominating the fragrance market for men, trendy ones. This has got a bit more character to it. So let me tell you something of the accords. It was created by a British perfumier called John Stephen, who I understand is very experienced, even up to the point of creating bespoke fragrances for the British royal family. But in Gravitas Pour Homme, we have the top notes. So initially what you get when you spray on the skin, we have bergamot, lavender and mandarin. A citrus for sure. At the heart, the guts of the fragrance, coriander, cardamom and pepper. So there's a little bit more cut to it there. And in the base, which is for me where it's all happening when I smell this one, absolutely, it is patchouli, oak moss, ambergris and vanilla. The oak moss and the vanilla for me definitely come through in waves, even from the get-go. So whilst they're the base, I'm getting them straight away. So let me tell you something of what I would perceive this fragrance, how it would fit into your life. Seasonally, I would say it's got quite a broad appeal here. I mean, I wouldn't wear it in the depths of summertime because it is depth, there's richness. As I've said, there's oak moss, there's vanilla. Whilst there is some citrus in there, which cuts through it a little, I think you could wear it throughout the year, but I'm going to probably avoid wearing this in the middle of the summer where, you know, temperatures are 30 degrees Celsius here in the UK. I want something a little lighter, maybe a little more citrusy, but this one, it's got more depth and strength to it. So for me, it's definitely a spring, autumn and winter, particularly even the early and end parts of a summer. I think this is wearable. So yeah, any time other than the depths of the summer. The age range, well, I'm going to say it kind of leads more towards the mature gentleman. Then again, I'm a mature gentleman and I rather like it, so perhaps I'm influenced from that regard. But I think as a younger fellow, if you want something a little more mature, you want to, you know, step up in age a little in your scent profile rather than wearing, as I say, these wishy-washy sweet fragrances that young men tend to favour. I think if you apply this one, it's going to, you know, elevate you in that regard. Time of day, again, whilst it has strength, I don't think it's overwhelming. So you could easily wear it in the daytime, but I think it's got the chops and the character that you can easily wear it if you're going out for the evening. To give you an idea, today I'm actually going out to a horse racing event later this evening. So it's an evening racing event at Bath Racecourse. And this is the fragrance that you just saw me apply it, I'm going to be wearing for the rest of the day. So whilst I've been wearing it right now and it's mid-afternoon, 2:30 in the afternoon, as I wear this, I'll be in a dining situation and horse racing in a corporate box up until, you know, 10 o'clock tonight. This will carry me through nicely from the day, casual environment, to the evening, somewhat more formal in a business environment, talking to clients and other people in that sort of field of endeavour. So I think it crisscrosses over between several different elements of your life. It's not full on, you know, totally casual daytime overpowering. It's not, you know, very light either. It's got the nice middle ground. It walks the tightrope rather well for me. So does Gravitas have sufficient character to wear to one of those special occasions in your lifetime? Maybe you've been invited out to dinner by the ambassador for Nepal and you just want to put a good impression over on him. I think it does. I really do. I really think that it has sufficient body and richness that you can wear it for the special moments in your life. Your wedding day, maybe something of that nature. As well as I say, it walks the tightrope rather well. Covers you quite nicely. Longevity lasts for me a good few hours on the skin. I would give it a medium. It's not a beast, you know, it's not sort of clinging on to you many hours after you wear it, or you can still smell it on your clothing after it's been through the laundry. It's not that bad. It's a nice medium. I would say the same for its projection. Whilst initially when you put it on, it sort of projects out rather nicely. After a little while, it settles down and it just gives you that pleasant aura. When people who come rather near you in your orbit of operation as you go through life, they're going to pick up the whiff of it, and that's exactly what you want. You know, the person standing behind you in the queue at the supermarket is certainly going to think, you know, you've got this scent thing nailed, but it's not overwhelming. You're not going to get them coughing because it's getting stuck in their throat or up their nose. It's got that nice middle ground, as I say. Third-party comments. Well, I've had this for about 3 weeks at this point. I've been wearing it off and on because I have a number of other fragrances, also from Norton and Wilson, and I'm going to review some of those later on. But yes, you know, it definitely has elicited great comments from those near to me. My wife, my mother particularly loves fragrances, and she caught a whiff of this one yesterday, complimented me on it. My son, who has become quite the old chip off the old block, bit of a fragrance lover himself, wears a different cologne every day to school. God knows what the other kids think in school, but he definitely raids my fragrance collection, chooses something different every day, and he really likes this one as well. So thumbs up from everybody in my immediate orbit. Anyway, really been liked. What do we think of the bottle? Classic and elegant. What we have here is a bit of a throwback to an era where things were done a little bit better. We've got a nice glass bottle, beveled edges, with a metallic plaque on the front bearing the name Gravitas Pour Homme with the crest of the brand. The lid, solid, metal, weighty, brand logo on top. All the metalwork is in a gilded colour. I think its initial impression when you look at it, when you feel it, is classy and elegant. And going on further to the packaging, you know, you get a beautiful box with ruched satin inside. From a presentation point of view, if you're giving it as a gift, this is going to really hit the mark. It feels like you're getting something rather special. You think this is going to be very expensive. When you smell it, I would say it smells much more expensive than it actually is, because this bottle of Gravitas Pour Homme 100 millilitres on the Norton website as I speak is 115 British pounds. Although whilst I say that, he seems to be constantly running promotions and deals and multi-buys, so you're likely to get it a little bit more affordable, even beyond that price, if you bundle it with something else or catch a discounted period. So I think it is a very accessible price if you like good quality fragrances that are not going to break the bank. So in summing up, my verdict, I would describe this as a very good universal soldier. It's good for many things. You can wear it in the day, in the evening, in the summer, in the winter. You can wear it in formal settings, in casual settings. Considering this was the first product which they brought out, they did very, very well with this one. I think it really slides in to anybody's collection. And I think, and I already know, I've had it in the collection for 3 weeks. It's classy, it's elegant, it's masculine. So it's something that I'm going to reach for day after day. You know, when I look in the drawer at the 150 fragrances which I own, I tend to be drawn to the same ones over again. The ones I can trust and rely on for the situations I face in life. And this one has been one I've found myself reaching for rather a lot of late, whether I'm going to a special event or just loafing around the house. It seems to be doing the job. And coupled with the fact that it has the feel-good factor for me, because it's come into being because of a YouTuber who had a dream and made it happen, and also produced something very good and is made in the United Kingdom at a very affordable price. For me, it's got everything going for it. Now, absolute transparency, as I say, you know, I get nothing out of telling you that I particularly enjoy this fragrance. I've got no financial benefit in this at all. So I hope you take my word for it that it's something which I have really enjoyed. And I imagine I'm going to get lots of use out of this one whilst it remains in my collection as a highly recommended fragrance for you too. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that one. Do you own any of the other products from Norton and Wilson? Let me know what they're like. Where should I go next on my journey through this brand? If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe for more. Don't forget, become one of my patrons also if you'd like to come on this journey with me towards Chap Nirvana. And as a patron, you will benefit from the additional video content which I produce each and every week exclusively for those patrons. And you can find out how to become a patron. There's a little link in the show notes below. So until the next time, smell great as we go through life, and I'll see you soon.